Before his son was born, Jack's life was, by all accounts, comfortable. He had a decent job, a nice apartment, and a predictable routine. Weekends were for friends, hobbies, and a general sense of ease. Life was good, but looking back, it lacked a certain depth, a central purpose that could anchor him. He was drifting along on a calm sea, content with the gentle currents, never feeling the need to build a stronger ship or chart a more ambitious course. It was a life of quiet satisfaction, but not one of profound meaning. Then everything changed. The moment he held his newborn son for the first time, a wave of emotions he had never experienced crashed over him. There was overwhelming love, of course, a love so fierce it was almost frightening. But beneath that love, a new and unsettling feeling began to stir, a deep, profound fear. As he looked at the tiny, trusting face in his arms, a question echoed in the quiet corners of his mind. A question that would reshape his entire world. What kind of man will my son grow up to see me as? This wasn't just a fleeting thought. It was a seismic shift in his perspective. He looked at his own life, his habits, his compromises, his unfulfilled potential. He saw the lazy Sundays spent on the couch, the career path he was coasting on, the small ways he avoided responsibility. Suddenly, these weren't just personal choices anymore. They were lessons. They were examples. He imagined his son, years from now, looking at him. Would he see a man who settled, or a man who strived? Would he see a man who talked about dreams, or a man who actively pursued them? A powerful realization settled in Jack's heart. His son would learn far more from who he was than from what he said. He could tell his boy to be honest, to work hard, and to be kind. But if his own actions didn't reflect those values, the words would be empty, hollow echoes. Children, he understood, are mirrors. They reflect the behavior they see every day. His son wouldn't just be his child. He would be his most honest critic, his most devoted observer. Jack knew he couldn't just preach a good life. He had to live it. In that moment, a silent promise was made, not to his wife, not to his friends, but to the tiny infant sleeping in his arms. It was a vow to himself. He would become a man worthy of his son's emulation. He would build a life that his son could look upon with respect and pride. This wasn't about being perfect. It was about being present, being intentional, and being better. The comfortable coasting was over. It was time to grab the oars and start rowing with all his might toward a shore he was now determined to build. The transformation began subtly, then gained momentum. The first to go were the small, time-wasting habits. Late-night gaming sessions were replaced with early morning reading on parenting and personal development. The weekend lounging turned into family outings, creating memories instead of just passing time. He started exercising regularly, not for vanity, but for vitality. He wanted to have the energy to chase his son across a park, to lift him onto his shoulders, to be an active, vibrant presence in his life for as long as possible. His health was no longer just his own. It was a resource for his family. Then came the bigger changes. At work, good enough was no longer good enough. Jack had been comfortable in his role, but he knew he was capable of more. Driven by the new weight of responsibility, he started taking on more challenging projects. He sought out mentorship, stayed late to master new skills, and began to articulate a vision for his career. He wasn't just working for a paycheck anymore. He was building a foundation of security and opportunity for his son. He wanted his son to see a father who faced challenges head-on and was unafraid of hard work. His relationships changed too. He became more patient, more understanding. The small frustrations that once seemed significant now faded in comparison to the immense joy and responsibility of fatherhood. He listened more, both to his wife and to the unspoken needs of his infant son. He learned the language of coos and cries, and in doing so, he learned a deeper form of empathy. He was building a home filled not just with things, but with love, security, and unwavering support. Every decision was now filtered through a new lens. What example does this set? This question guided him through countless choices, big and small. It wasn't a burden, it was a compass. It gave his life a direction and a purpose that had been missing. This wasn't a transformation born of obligation, but one fueled by a profound and ever-growing love. The responsibility he felt wasn't a chain. It was a set of wings. It was the love for his son that gave him the strength to fly higher than he ever thought possible. With each passing year, Jack could see the fruits of his labor, not just in his own success, but in the reflection in his son's eyes. He saw admiration, trust, and a deep, unspoken bond. When his son took his first steps, Jack was there, not just to catch him, but to show him how to get back up after a fall. When his son struggled with learning to read, Jack sat with him patiently, night after night, modeling perseverance. He was teaching lessons of resilience and courage, not with lectures, but by living them. The pride he felt wasn't just in his own accomplishments, but in the man he was becoming, the man his son saw every single day. Looking back, Jack's old life seemed like a distant memory, a black and white photo from a forgotten album. The man he was before was a stranger. This new life was harder, more demanding, and filled with sleepless nights and constant challenges. But it was also infinitely richer, more colorful, and overflowing with a love and purpose he never knew existed. He had discovered a simple, powerful truth. The greatest growth a man can experience often comes when he is no longer living just for himself. The story of Jack is a testament to the transformative power of fatherhood. It highlights a universal truth. What we leave behind is not measured in wealth or possessions, but in the legacy we build within the hearts of our children. Being a good role model, a beacon of integrity, strength, and love, is a far greater achievement than any personal comfort or fleeting pleasure. For Jack, becoming a father wasn't the end of his life. It was the beginning. It was the moment he finally understood what it meant to truly live. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. We'd love to hear your own stories of transformation in the comments below. See you next time.